Scott, welcome here, my dear friend. Thank you for accommodating my schedule. Before we discuss your research and observations about Germany and some of the latest nonsense from Lindsey Graham, President Trump just a few minutes ago announced a rather seismic shift in his thinking, an increase in the amount of military weapons, or it sounds, he's so imprecise at times, like an increase in arms to Ukraine via a circuitous route of European nations. What is this going to accomplish?
Excuse my language, but not a damn thing. I mean, this is stupidity in the extreme. First of all, notice who's running this. It ain't Pete Hegseth. It's not the State Department. The CIA is running this, which tells you right off the bat that this is non-standard. It's a knee-jerk reaction that require, it's done outside of normal procurement channels. Where's the money coming from? And things of that nature. It's sleight of hand. There's nothing specific. What's the training associated with this? I mean, 17 batteries. People need to put on their thinking caps sometime when they hear this president open his mouth. 17 batteries, a full complement, he said. Does Ukraine have 17 batteries worth of soldiers trained? Who's going to train them? We know Spain has a battery dedicated for training Ukrainians.
What's a battery, Scotty?
A firing battery for the Patriot will be, I think, up to 3 launchers together with associated radars. The launchers will have, I guess it's a quad, 4 pods on them to fire off. So, you're talking, I think, 4, 8, 12, between 12 and 16 missiles ready to fire per battery. It's not an insignificant amount. Right now in Ukraine, the total they've ever had is between 6 and 8, but we know that most all have been destroyed. And when they get destroyed, it sort of takes the crews out with them, or at least good portions of the crews. And we also know that at some point in time, the manpower issue in Ukraine was such that because they didn't have Patriot crew or Patriot batteries available because the Russians destroyed them, these crews were diverted for other tasks, including some going in the infantry. So again, when we see 17 firing batteries, Ukrainians simply don't have people trained up to do this. So you throw the firing batteries in, and it's nothing. Also, we don't know what kind of Patriot they're getting. One Patriot is not like the other Patriot. If they're getting older Patriots, they could be systems that haven't been upgraded. They don't have the more modern missiles. They're incapable of intercepting the modern Russian ballistic missiles. We just don't know what's going on, and what nation's going to do this. For instance, Germany has 12 firing batteries available. That's it. 2 of those are in Poland, dedicated to a NATO mission in Poland. Germany's already provided, I think, 3 batteries to Ukraine, which have been destroyed. But Germany is one of the nations that Trump's leaning on here. Are they going to give all 12 up, knowing that they have nothing to defend themselves with, knowing that they've embarked on a process of providing dismantled Taurus missiles to Ukraine? And at some point in time, if Ukraine fires an assembled Taurus missile, that the Dusseldorf facility where these missiles were made were probably going to be hit by Oreshniks, nothing to defend it, politically suicide. This is the dumbest thing in the world. This president truly is the stupidest man in history. This is purely about, political, cover his what. This is a man who has been embarrassed, humiliated by the fact that Vladimir Putin won't roll over and play dead for him, that he doesn't have a strategy, that he's allowed Keith Kellogg to box him into a corner. He's allowed the incompetence of Marco Rubio to box him into a corner. And then he's abandoned Pete Hegseth, who was simply acting on the instructions he was given to go America first and disentangle ourselves from a disastrous policy in Ukraine that's already taken $100 billion plus of our money. This is what President Trump said he wasn't going to do, and now he's doing it. And let me tell you,
why the abandonment of Hegseth, and how can the Central Intelligence Agency have access to equipment that's owned and stored by the Pentagon?
No, there's no U.S. equipment involved here. They're not dipping into Pentagon stocks. This is a CIA arrangement. This is classically what they do. They're actually pretty stupid talking about it in the open because they're giving away things they shouldn't be giving away. But the CIA is going to nations that possess a weapon system, and then they're seeking diversion of that weapon system outside of normal American procurement channels, which means that if it's done covertly, you can bypass reporting requirements to Congress, or at least limit it to the Gang of Eight. Just get a presidential finding. This is how we move stuff around the world. This is what the CIA does. This evil stuff where we send weapons where they shouldn't be, doing things that publicly we couldn't link them to. But now the CIA, because this president is literally the dumbest man in the world, and they have a sycophantic bootlicker as the director of the CIA, who instead of telling him, saying, Mr. President, don't talk about it. If we're going to do it, don't talk about it. But the president has to talk about it because it's about stroking his ego. So now they're going to go to Spain, and they're going to divert these Patriot systems to Spain through a European cutout, because there won't be any American fingerprints on this. They're going to pay for all this. And then what's going to happen is Germany is going to foot the bill to order new Patriot systems that'll backfill the Spanish ones.